Hello Makeup Void, I'm Trin and welcome back to my channel. So I said a lot in last week's video, I know I did, in terms of being uninterested in makeup, and then I've had realizations this past week and I was like, we'll get to those realizations in another video once I've kind of flushed them out in my head. But today we're doing a ripoff of Hautemess Tom's video that they do. I found them last year, so I don't know how long they've been doing these videos, but they do these kind of wrap-up videos a year later of all the products that they purchased a year ago, and they talk about do they still have them, their thoughts on them, would I repurchase them now. So I'm ripping off that idea, and today we're gonna do December and January, so hopefully I will get my life together and do this again in a few weeks for February. But so today is going to be all of the products that I purchased in December of 2023, January of 2024. Do I still have them? Do I still like them? What did I do with them? So give this video a like, dislike. Let's go ahead and get rolling. I don't have these in the order that I bought them. Well, technically it was December and January. I just went through my makeup spreadsheet and looked for the ones that said December 2023 and January 2024. So let's go ahead and get talking about them. The first one is the Natasha Denona High Glam Concealer. I adored this concealer. I put it in my, I think it was one of the initial products that I put in my project pan that I started in like September of last year, and my goal was to use it up because I love it. I want to give it extra attention, to want to use it, and genuinely I was curious to see, could I use up a concealer that I purchased in January and finish it by the end of the year. And that's debatable because I did the project painter thing where to get every last drop out of your makeup you need to remove the stopper. I tried that and the stopper broke, and I used it a few more times after the stopper broke, but then I was like, this is probably very unhygienic and there could be plastic pieces that I can't tell going onto my face, and I decided to just call it good with that concealer. So I used it up to the point where at least I couldn't get anything more when I still had the stopper in it. I would 100% want to repurchase this concealer. Yes, it's $30. Yes, when it comes to like me being a drugstore girly, I don't really want to spend $30 on a concealer, but oh my goodness, if I only had one concealer in my collection, if I really simplified my collection, I would want to go back to the Natasha Denona concealer and have that be maybe, I wouldn't say my only concealer, but maybe like 2 or 3 concealers. I would definitely make it one of those. But in the same breath, I did use up the NYX Pump Concealer, their concealer serum, and I really enjoyed that. And after I used it up, people were making comments that it could be a dupe to Natasha Denona. So now I'm like, now I don't know. But I really missed the Natasha Denona concealer, and I wish I still had it, or at least I could say on camera that I did officially use it up. But that's arguable whether or not I did it. Next is the NYX Pro Fix Stick Concealer. Okay, Natasha Denona concealer I purchased in December, but I didn't get it until January, so in terms of my low buy goals, I didn't technically break it. But the NYX Pro Fix Stick Concealer, I 100% did. And that was me partially being a dumb bird. It was super hyped up. Everybody was wanting to get their hands on it. And so I fell into the hype. I do not like this concealer. I got it in the lightest shade, and I thoroughly regret that because my brain was like, oh, I want a really bright under eye concealer just like in my inner corners where I don't necessarily need an inner corner highlight with an eyeshadow. That was sort of my goal, but initially I was wondering if I could just use this as my standalone concealer, and it sunk into every single pore on my face. I would put it on and immediately see pores that I thought didn't exist. Just immediately. It was like, what is going on? It's so noticeable. But also, sitting far back from here, you probably wouldn't notice like my pores being that accentuated. But because I have my little compact, and especially when I did my concealer ranking back in May of last year, I was getting like really up close to like look for the under eye wrinkles, look for that settling, and it was just, I was appalled. I was like, there's no way. This is not working for me. So I still have this concealer. I put it away in makeup timeout, and I do want to revisit it at some point this year. And I would ideally like to use the concealer up instead of just throwing it away. But I need to revisit it after several months has passed before I officially make up my mind. Just, it's kind of one of those products where like you need to like go on a break, distance yourself from the situation, and then revisit to see if you still have the same feelings. So I still have it, but I wasn't a fan of it last year. Next was the Kosas Cloud Set Powder. I was in Nebraska visiting my in-laws. My mother-in-law wanted to go to Sephora. Of course I have to tag along. We had a good time. There was a few cringy moments I won't get into, but I'm at Sephora. Of course I have to buy something. I'm at Sephora. So I bought the mini of the Kosas Cloud Set Powder, knowing people's griefs with it. A big grief people have with it is that it gets hard pan very easily. I noticed that right away. An argument to fix, I'm doing air quotes, to fix the hard pan is to get a piece of Scotch tape and just put that over the dry patches, the hard pan, and like essentially rip it off. I have never tried that because I think it's completely stupid. I don't know about y'all, but I do not keep Scotch tape where I keep my makeup. I do my makeup upstairs. The Scotch tape is in the junk drawer downstairs. I don't want to have to get the Scotch tape every single time I have hard pan on my products. I don't want to keep Scotch tape in my office where I do my makeup, because what if my husband needs the Scotch tape? He's looking around for it where it always is, and then I have like a dumb bird moment. I can't tell him where it is. It's just not practical for me to have Scotch tape where I do my makeup, and I think it's incredibly stupid. The way I deal with hard pan is literally take the end of a brush and kind of scrape it off. I didn't do that with this, but after maybe 3 or 4 uses, and granted it was a mini, the powder broke. And it's a baked powder. And I have never heard somebody successfully repress a baked powder. I didn't want to be that person to test it out, so I just broke it into finally as possible, put it in another loose powder container that I already had, and I used it as a loose powder. I don't think that was a good idea, and I don't think I can give a fair review of that product because I had to use it as a loose powder. It didn't work out for me. It didn't do anything. I wasn't quite sure what it was meant to do, but it was really hyped up. I bought it because of the hype, and I was just completely underwhelmed. I was like, I'm not going to repurchase it to give it another shot, especially because of how fast it hard pans. I can't be bothered with going downstairs to get Scotch tape every single time I hit a hard pan on a product. Next was the Milani Cheek Kiss Cream Bronzer. I miss this bronzer so much. I miss it. I did use it up, I think, in November. And I feel really stupid about that because in July, because according to my low buy, I could purchase a new bronzer. So I bought another cream bronzer. But because I have that other cream bronzer, I don't want to repurchase the Milani bronzer, which I like a million times more. There's nothing wrong with that other cream bronzer. It's just, it's not the Milani. It's not the same. It's not the same color. It doesn't blend out as well. I mean, it still blends out pretty freaking good, but it's not the Milani. So I really want to repurchase the Milani bronzer, but I want to use up my current cream bronzer before I repurchase the Milani, and because of that I'm really sad and I feel really stupid that I purchased a cream bronzer just because I could when I already had a product I already loved. So I will definitely repurchase that in the future. Since I used it up in November, I meant to do say that I used it up in my low buy project pan update, but then I put it somewhere where I don't think, and then it got lost, and it wasn't until my end of the year empties video where I found it. So I couldn't mention it there, but I did use it up. I incredibly miss it. Next is where I put it away. I got it out and then I put it right away. Next is the e.l.f. Camo Liquid Blush in the shade Pinky Promise. Starting strong with not following my low buy rules. I got this, again, because of the hype. So many products I purchased without thinking, especially in January, was because of the hype. And this was definitely one of them. I have in the shade Pinky Promise. Everyone immediately was saying that this is the dupe to the Rare Beauty blushes. I don't have a Rare Beauty blush. I had no intention of buying a Rare Beauty blush ever. But then, of course, e.l.f. comes out with a dupe and suddenly I need to have a liquid blush. This is amazing. It is pigmented, especially for this color. It is incredibly pigmented. But I love an incredibly pigmented blush. So for me, it works out. Also, I run the gamut every single time. And what is now the popular thing to do is to... I already filmed this video and then I decided to redo all of it, so we'll get to that in a little bit. But most like the popular thing to do, and probably the more effective way to use a cream product, is to put it on your hand and really saturate your brush before applying to your face. My brain is like, that's a waste of product. I'm not going to do that. So this is really pigmented. It's really intense, but I love it for that. I don't know why I don't reach for this blush more. I really have no excuses. It's been in my makeup drawer since I purchased it. It's just, I'm working on other blushes, and it's just, it gets lost in my brain of whether or not I should use it. And I remember this when e.l.f. came out with more shades. They came out with that trendy lavender blush, and I was like, oh my goodness, I need to try the lavender blush and fall into the hype and just see if I can, if lavender blush works for me, since I already used this formula. But then I talked myself out of it, A, because I was going on a no buy, and also because I don't even use the one I do have, so it was pointless in me buying another one. Next is the Tower 28 mascara. Again, purchased this because of the hype. Purchased it because I was at Sephora with my mother-in-law. I think this was the wrong time of my life to try this mascara because it's a rubber bristle wand. I typically don't like rubber bristle wands because if I'm not being careful, it gets stuck in my eye. I get a piece of mascara. It's irritating. My eyes are watering. It's not a good time. But then e.l.f. came out with the tubing lash extender mascara, and I fell in love with that. I have a love-hate relationship with that mascara. Like, one day I love it and the next day I hate it, but I keep finding myself repurchasing it, and I keep doing it. It's a bad relationship. I keep going back to them because some days when we have a good day, it's an amazing day. When we have a bad day, it's a really bad day. I think I just really like that mascara. We're going up even. Going back to the Tower 28 mascara. I'm super happy I bought a mini. I wasn't wowed by it. It wasn't the lengthening, volumizing mascara that everyone was talking about. I was completely underwhelmed by it. And it didn't last even 3 months. I got maybe 2 months out of it. And maybe I could have stretched it to a 3rd month, but honestly didn't care. I didn't like the formula, so getting rid of it a little early wasn't that big of a deal for me. Next is a swatch that's already... Moose is mad that I keep adjusting my seat. Is the Milani Gilded Eyeshadow... Did I put this away again? I decided to refilm this video because I just didn't like my introduction, so I decided to just redo all of it. So it's Milani Gilded Eyeshadow Stick. I have mine in the shade Mauve, so this is the swatch of it. It's a shimmery olive green. Beautiful. Now that I'm rubbing it on my finger, it's not really budging, but because at initial application, it just feels a little too creamy, so I always set it with another green eyeshadow. I purchased this when I did because it's a cream shadow stick. I love cream shadow sticks. I wanted to try the formula from another brand because pretty much I only have e.l.f. at this point. And so I wanted to just try a different formula, and when it applies on the eyes, it does set down, but I don't think that way when I apply it because I immediately go in and sort of buff it out with my fingers. So I was like, oh, this is really creamy. This is gonna crease. So, but after swatching, I'm like, it's not gonna crease. But that's not the way I use shadow sticks. I use them as a base to apply another eyeshadow on top of it. So that's how I use this product. I really do like it. And my brain all year was trying to justify purchasing another shade. But this Mauve shade is the only interesting shade for me. The rest are just neutrals and bronzes, and it's just like, I don't need another one of these, with the green being the most interesting. But pretty good formula. really enjoy this on days where I work and have to wear green. I don't have to wear green eyeshadow to work. I don't have to, but my brain is like, you need to do green eyeshadow at least once a week to work. Even though you can argue that I kind of did green eyeshadow today. Even though I'm lying to myself and say that I didn't. I wanted to film with my new glasses because I'm just obsessed with them. I just don't know how well you can see with the glare, but they're a nice geometrical shape and I absolutely adore them. So I wanted to wear my glasses for this video. That's irrelevant. I have 2 more products to go. Next is the NYX. I have no idea how to like read this product name. It's the Fat Oil Stick Click lipstick that's kind of like glossy, and I have it in the shade Hits Different. I think this is an incredible formula. Incredible. It applies nicely on the lips. I have this problem with the e.l.f. one as well that I purchased later in the year. I have a hair stuck on it, which is really gross. But when you apply it, it kind of gets like, if you click it up too much, it gets like it gets product on around their edges, and so you always have to wipe it off with like a tissue. It's just really annoying to me. So that's a nitpick about their product, but it's absolutely stunning. Also, I can argue that there's actual glitter in here. It's not chunky by any means, but it's not good. I like this formula, but if you hear those clicks, it's really freaking loud, and in my brain it's like people constantly clicking a pen, and I'm afraid of like triggering somebody at work with how annoying it is. So I don't really like reapplying it at work. And I got Hits Different because it's like, oh, it's like an orangey color. I don't really have orangey colors in my collection. Let's go a little bit different. Let's go a little off the wall. And I don't like warm tones. I've been doing warm tones quite a bit more lately, but I'm not thinking about this product when I do a warmer tone look. It gets pushed to the back of my lipstick drawers, and so A, I forget about it. 2, it's not a color that I can reach for on a daily basis, so that's part of the problem. The formula is really good, but the color, I was just being stupid. But it's like, I don't want to buy another Charlotte Tilbury pillow top color kind of lipstick. I need to change things up. So the color isn't perfect for me. My brain has gone back and forth about just buying this in a different color that's more everyday for me. And then I realized that's stupid because of my nitpicks with this product. But the formula itself is phenomenal. It's the color, it's the clicky, annoying thing, it's the product. If you click up the product too much, it gets that like, gets around the rim, and I think that's really gross. But other than that, like, if you're just talking about the formula, I really do like this. It's just those nitpicks that I had problems with. Didn't even make it in my drawer. Lastly, which was December of last year. Why was 2023 literally 2 years ago? That just bothers me so much. Anyways, the last products that I purchased were the e.l.f. Glow Reviver lip oils. I'm pretty sure they came out in December of 2023. I wasn't brand new to lip oils. I'm making that up. But it was just, it's new, it's different, I gotta try it, it's e.l.f. It's my purchasing problem of I want to buy makeup just because it's from e.l.f. It's the problem. So of course I couldn't just buy one shade, I had to buy 2 shades. So I have the shade Rose Envy, which I have used definitely a lot this year. I mean, yeah, it doesn't look like that much, but that's more than what some people can say about their lipsticks. And then I got the shade Honey Talks, this brown. I love a brown lip. I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it. So I wanted to get a brown shade, and it's a lip oil. Guess what? They don't have the most pigment. They don't. I used it today, but the color that you're seeing is the lip liner. You're not seeing any of the brown on my lips. It's just the gloss. You're only seeing the lip liner. This is why I'm a dumb bird. I lost this. And by I'm saying lost it is that I couldn't find it in 2 seconds. I went several months, and then I got to a point where I was just like, I'm just gonna repurchase it. I was going through all my bags a few days ago and trying to figure out what bags I want to keep and which bags I want to donate. And when I swap out my bags, I use the same bag for months and months and months and months and months, and then instead of revisiting my old bags, I just buy a new one. So that's a bad consumer for me instead of, like, I have all these bags, but I can't be bothered to go back to a bag I already own. I have to buy something new. So I was going through all those old bags that I haven't used sometimes in years, and I found I don't know which one's the original. I have no freaking idea because both look barely used. Because I lost this in, like, I'm thinking I lost this in January or February. I think I lost this very, very early in 2024. I repurchased it in December of 2024. So I went almost an entire year of not having this lip oil shade. And then I was stupid and just repurchased it anyways because I had in the back of my mind, I was missing this color all year. Literally all year, wishing I still had it. And if I just, because my brain was thinking that, oh, I just had left it in one of my bags that I rotated out. Like, I just left it there. And if I would have spent 30 seconds instead of 2 seconds looking for it, I would have found this. And I don't know which one I want. I'm not going to declutter either of these, because I have no idea which is the original, which one's the new one. And it's not even that my brain's like, oh, just use at least one of them up this year. I'm not going to do that. I mean, I used Rose Envy a lot last year, and still there's so much product left. So I'm just not going to do that. I just feel really stupid about repurchasing it without putting a considerable effort into looking for a lost product. And in December, my husband found another lip gloss that had just rolled underneath the oven, and clearly I didn't miss it at all. And it was probably still good, even though it smelled weird. But I think it smelled weird when I first purchased it. I ended up decluttering it like after 1 or 2 uses because I was like, it's been under my stove for a long time. I don't even remember how long it's been under my stove. I probably shouldn't use it. So I think I bought that in 2023, so you're not going to see that in this video. But I just feel like Rose Envy, absolutely 100% love, will consistently I will continuously, what are words? I can't announce anything. Like, my brain just died on January 1st. I will keep using Rose Envy. It is my Lips But Better kind of glossy shade. Honey Talks, I clearly didn't need to repurchase it, and if I would have spent more time looking for it, I wouldn't have repurchased it. So I'm a dumb bird for that, because clearly I didn't miss it that much. So those are all the products that I bought in December of 2023, all the products I bought in January of 2024. I am probably going to film, if I'm going down to 1 video a week, you're probably going to see this in a few weeks for February of last year. And we're just gonna keep doing it. We're just gonna keep rolling with it. And so I want to thank y'all so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, give it a dislike. Yeah, if you enjoyed this video, just give it a dislike. I don't even care. And then subscribe if you want to see more content from me, which is going to be sporadic this year. I can already tell. As always, have joy and bye.